Okay, look at 1B. In what year did the Salton Sea have the highest elevation? So we need to find our elevation bullet that went up the highest. Put your finger on the point that goes up the highest. Did everyone put their finger on this one?
This one.
What year was that in? What year?
1995.
1995, because it was in between 94 and 96. So the answer to B is 1995. Look at C. It says what year did it have the lowest? So everyone put your finger on where it's the lowest. What year is it the lowest at? 2019. Because it's in the box right after 2018, and 2018 is located on this grid line, so 2019 will be this one. Well, this mark, the grid line here will be 2020. Okay, let's look at D. What was the approximate elevation of the Salton Sea in 2010? So let's find 2010 and go down. And then which bullet looks like it's about the closest to what if we follow it this way? Negative 230 is what it's the closest to. So what could we say this dot is? What could we say that that point is?
Negative 240.
What about negative 231? Because see, look, this is 225, this is 235. If we just were one over, we could say that was negative 231, because we are just one little dot right here under it. We are one under it. We're right here. Okay, let's look at what's next. It gives us a big, long list. D was negative 231. So everyone put your finger on 2 so I can make sure we're at the right section together. Everyone's finger is on problem 2. Please don't work ahead. It says the table shows the daily high temperature in degrees Fahrenheit in a U.S. city over how many days? 15 days in January. So here's our days. And there's our temperatures. And we're creating a time graph with this information. So let's think about how we're going to label this time graph. Would our days be our X or our Y? Would our days represent the bottom part, the X part of the time graph? Or would it represent the Y, this side up and down vertical part of the time graph? Let's look at our last one and see what they did. On this one, they let the elevation go here, and then the time, which was years, go on my X. So, do we think our days should be our X or our Y? X. Do you think, Vivian, you can start a pass and go if you would like to. What do you think your temperature is going to be? Y. So, let's label it. I am going to put my Y's on this line, like we said. But before we do our X's, let's take a moment and talk about our interval lengths. Our interval lengths. What should we count by to get these numbers right here? Ones. Do we have enough grid lines to count by ones? Let's check. Count for me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, we have enough. We know we have 15 grid lines across our X, and we have 15 going this way. So what should our interval length? We know it's 5 for X. What should our interval length be for Y? Look at these numbers and think about what you think our interval length should be. What is my smallest coordinate for my y's. What is the smallest number we've got? Negative 30. What is our largest?
What's the smallest?
Is there a negative 31? Oh, yeah, I didn't see it. Negative 31's my smallest. My bad. This is the smallest. Thanks, Brandon. I didn't even see it. Okay, well then what's our biggest number?
34.
Okay, 34. That's our bigness coordinate. So I've got to make sure that if I move down on my y, I can get to negative 31. And that if I move up on my y, I can get to positive 34. So what should we count by? What would be a good thing? Could we count by 5s? Could we count by 10s? Yeah, so let's do 10s. Let's count by 10s. Let me get another color pen so you can see it. So let's count by 10s. Let's split and draw our our x-axis. Yes.
Our interval length for y is 1 and then x is 10.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to try to draw a straight line. Yes. What axis did I just draw in green? X. So take a minute and draw your axis, then we'll fill in our interval lengths. Our interval length for x was what?
10.
For x, it was 10.
Oh no. It's 5.
Our interval length for x, go back and look at your days. What was our interval length?
1.
It was 1. Why did we say 5? I have a 5 written too. Why did we write 5? I don't know. Let's go back and look at it. I'm confused by that. Look at our days. We said this was our x's. What should I count by to get these? What would my interval length be? Rowan said it earlier. 1. Okay, now look at this. What would our interval length be for y? 10. Okay, now we're correct. We're all on the same page. Maybe that was my fault. I'm not sure why I had that there. So now we're going to label our intervals. So let's label them. This is what it should look like. All of your x's are positive. That's why they go straight that way on our time graph. Let's label our side. What were we counting by tens here? What are these? Look back at this chart. Our interval length was for y, which was 10. But what was that? The temperature. So this side is measuring our high temperature. What was our x's measuring? The days. Okay, now since we've labeled everything, we're tasked with plotting these points. We have got 10 minutes. Let's try to plot the points. So this is what your graph should somewhat look like. Let's answer our last few questions. Everyone look at B. This was part A. Flip to B. What was the warmest high temperature in the 15 days? Go back to your chart. We already labeled it. What was your warmest high temperature? 34. It was 34 degrees Fahrenheit. Between which two consecutive days did the high temperature decrease the most? Do you remember consecutive integers? What were they? It was the two numbers, if we're counting like normal, it is what two numbers something is in between. So if I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what two consecutive integers is 3 in the middle of? 2 and 4, yes. So it says, which two consecutive days did the high temperature decrease the most? So look at your high temperature. Which ones did they decrease the most? Where was our major divot? Look at it. It was in between our 3 and 4, because look at that. It was in between days 3 and 4 because it said our high temperature. So day 3 and 4. Okay, now look at this. We're going to summarize how the high temperature in this city changed over the 15 days. So I want you to summarize in your groups how our temperature, our high temperature of 34, moved around for those 15 days. Explain to me our movement that we got in this graph. Yeah, there was a lot of movement. It started up and then it went down. Then it went up again. Then it went down. Then it went up again. Then it went down. So in more formal words than up and down, we should have put that for the first 7 days, so from day 1 through 7, the high temperature decreased. On day 1, the high temperature was 34 degrees Fahrenheit, and by day 7, the high temperature was negative 31 degrees Fahrenheit. There was an increase over the next 2 days, and by day 9, the temperature was negative 3 degrees Fahrenheit. Then there was another decrease. By day 11, the temperature was negative 26 degrees Fahrenheit. The high temperature increased again from day 11 to day 14, but on day 15, it decreased to negative 7. Guys, this video will be posted for you to refer back to. For homework, I want this class to complete exit ticket 14.